Alright everyone, welcome to the channel. So, the SEC chairman Gary Gensler says that he believes that every ICO is a security and subsequently the vast majority of crypto tokens violate US security laws. Now, in this video, I know it's a touchy subject, I'm going to be going through, does Gary have a point? We're also going to be talking about what are ICOs, what are the definition of securities, and how does the SEC pinpoint whether something is a security or not. I know there's a lot of misinformation in the crypto market, for example, with the SEC versus XRP case, or even back in 2018, the SEC versus Ethereum case. And I noticed that a lot of people are very quick to say, you know, this crypto isn't a security, this crypto isn't a security, but I imagine a lot of people do not understand the in-depthness of what is a security and what constitutes a security. So for this video, we're going to be talking about, does Gensler have a point? What is the definition of an ICO? Subsequently, what is the definition of a security? What constitutes a security? And for this video specifically, we're going to be looking at, is Ethereum a security? Now, I thought about doing this on XRP, but it's not so black and white. When you do look at XRP, I'm going to reserve my opinions on that to the end of this video until we get to the end of there. Also, this video is going to be timestamped. I do recommend that you do watch the entirety of the video if you are unsure of what securities are, but if you only have a minute or two, like I said, I have timestamped the video for your convenience. I am going to have an example timestamp towards the end of the video where I have a quick 1 minute example of what constitutes a security. So that is going to be the bread and butter of this video. Let's jump right in and talk about what is the definition of an ICO. We're going to then move on based on our knowledge of an ICO. We're going to talk about what's the definition of a security, what constitutes a security, and is Ethereum a security. Let's jump right into the video. So to understand what a security is, we first need to develop our understanding of what an initial coin offering is, also known as an ICO. So what is an initial coin offering? An initial coin offering, also known as an ICO, is the cryptocurrency industry's equivalent to an initial public offering brackets IPO. This is something that's traditionally done over in the stock market. A company seeking to raise money to create a new coin, app, or service can launch an ICO as a way to raise funds. Now, the main takeaways from this are: initial coin offerings are designed for the purpose of selling the cryptocurrency coin or token. You can look at this as fractional ownership of the project. For example, there's only 21 million Bitcoin in the entire world. There'll only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. If I hold 1 Bitcoin, then in theory I hold 1/21 millionth of the network. That is an example of fractional ownership within a project. Bear in mind, Bitcoin never had an ICO. I'm just giving you an example of fractional ownership, and these ICOs, they're basically done for the sake of raising capital to develop the project. Now we know what an ICO is, let's jump into the definition of a security and then we'll give a few examples. So, what is a security? I'm going to highlight the key points on this. The term security refers to a fungible in this case simply meaning interchangeable and transactable, negotiable financial instrument that holds some type of monetary value. It represents an ownership position in a publicly traded corporation via stock. A creditor relationship with a government body or a corporation represented by owning that entity's bond, or rights to ownership as represented by an option. Now, the main takeaway from this is, as I've highlighted here, a security represents an ownership position in a publicly traded corporation, stock, cryptocurrency. This definition does not encompass cryptocurrencies because at this moment in time we do not have securities regulations perfectly designed and fleshed out specifically for cryptocurrencies, which is one of the arguments of the SEC versus XRP and the argument they had for the Vitalik Buterin versus the SEC case, where they were deeming whether Ethereum was a security or not. When we're talking about is a cryptocurrency a security, We're talking about securities laws from all the way back in the 1940s. So, put very simply, securities are fungible and tradable financial instruments used to raise capital in public and private markets. Now we know what a security is, we're going to go learn about something called the Howie Test, which is something that the SEC use to determine whether an investment vehicle is a security or not. Let's jump right into it. So, before we learn the 4 points which constitutes what is a security, we're first going to read the basics of what is the Howie Test. Now, the Howie Test refers to the US Supreme Court case for determining whether a transaction qualifies as an investment contract and therefore would be considered a security. So, how did the Howie Test come about? Well, the Howie Test refers to the case on the SEC versus W.J. Howie Co., which reached the Supreme Court in 1946. The Howie Company sold tracts of citrus groves to buyers in Florida who would then lease back the land to Howie. Company staff would tend to the groves and sell the fruit on behalf of the owners. Both parties shared in the revenue, and most buyers had no experience in agriculture and were not required to tend the land themselves. Howie had failed to register these transactions with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, and this is when the SEC intervened. The court's final ruling determined the leaseback agreements qualified as investment contracts, aka a security. So, in doing so, the Supreme Court established 4 criteria to determine whether an investment contract exists, and we're going to be running through these 4 now, and this is where we're going to jump into the examples. So the first criteria is it has to be an investment of money, it has to be in a common enterprise, it has to be with the expectation of profit, and it has to be derived from the efforts of others. So this is where we're going to jump into the example. Let's say hypothetically that I'm Vitalik Buterin and I am coming out with Ethereum at this moment in time. Ethereum is not a fleshed out project. We haven't fully developed the blockchain. We haven't fully developed everything that we need for Ethereum. I personally do not have enough money to develop the Ethereum network at this moment in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an ICO, also known as an initial coin offering, and I'm talking to you, the investor, the accredited investor. Now, what I'm going to ask as Vitalik, I'm going to ask for you, the investor, to invest money within my cryptocurrency. So I'm asking for you to invest in a share of the Ethereum network. Let's say hypothetically that at this moment in time there was only 100,000 Ethereum, and let's say I was asking you to buy 10,000 Ethereum. So you would have once again a 10% stake in the network. So this is number 1. I've asked you to invest money in number 2, my project Ethereum. Now, number 3, like I said, I currently don't have enough money to develop the network, and this is where you, the investor, comes in. I need your money to develop the network, to make it something much more usable. I want to make Ethereum the next global blockchain which everything's going to be built on top of. So you're investing money into Ethereum, and you are expecting that with this money that I have raised from the initial coin offering, that I'm going to be using this money to develop the network. This is where number 3 comes in. You are expecting for me to develop the network and add value to it. This means that you are basically expecting me to use your money and other investors' money to develop the project, turn it into something greater, and then as you have that 10% stake in the network, as you've got 10,000 Ethereum, that would simply mean that you would be expecting a profit, as you expect the value of the Ethereum ecosystem to rise. How do you expect the value of the ecosystem to rise? This is where number 4 comes in. Like I said, I do not have enough money by myself to develop the Ethereum blockchain, but with your money, I will have enough resources to hire devs. I'll have enough money to, have platforms, blockchains, swaps, all of these different things built on top of the Ethereum network. What does that mean? You're investing the money, I'm doing all the hard work, and thus your expectation of profit is to be derived from the efforts of others. Once again, very simply, I'm asking for you to invest money. That's number 1. I'm asking for you to invest it in my cryptocurrency, Ethereum, that is number 2. With the expectation of profit, you're obviously expecting for the Ethereum ecosystem to rise and gain in popularity. This is where you're expecting profit from my initial coin offering, because all of that effort to flesh out the ecosystem has been derived from the efforts of myself. So that is basically it. And that's basically the most textbook example I can give. So with these 4 criteria right here, let me know what you think down below. Do you think under these 4 examples of the Howie Test, which is the test used by the SEC to determine whether something is a security, do you think that Ethereum is a security? Okay, so now I'm going to wrap up the video talking about my opinion. Do I agree with Gensler? Do I also agree that most of the ICOs in the crypto markets are securities? Now, yes, in my opinion, from the security laws back in 1940, it seems pretty black and white what a security is. There's only 4 variables in which we need to decide whether something is a security or not, and it does seem like Ethereum falls underneath all of these. As you can see, Vitalik had the most successful initial coin offering ever, raising over 18.4 million to realize the ambitions of his project Ethereum. So why was Ethereum deemed as not a security in 2018? Well, at the time, there is one caveat which does need to be mentioned when it comes to determining whether something is a security. It has to be deemed centralized enough to centrally benefit the person who is making the ICO. So for example, is the ICO benefiting Vitalik Buterin, or is it not benefiting him whatsoever? Well, the court decided that it was sufficiently decentralized enough that the Ethereum network could not be centrally controlled by Vitalik Buterin, and thus the ICO and the development of the Ethereum ecosystem could not have centrally benefited Vitalik Buterin, and that is where I disagree. Ethereum was pre-mined, and because it was pre-mined, Vitalik and other accredited investors were able to swoop up tons of Ethereum after the ICO. So Vitalik pre-mined, I don't know what the pre-mine is, let's say they pre-mined 100,000 Ethereum, he kept, let's say hypothetically, 20,000 Ethereum, and he used the 18.4 million to develop the Ethereum ecosystem. So technically, he did not use the money to benefit himself, he used the money to develop the Ethereum network, and because he already had a pre-mine and already held a bunch of Ethereum, in my opinion, it did benefit him. So in my opinion, yes, I do think Ethereum is a security, and this is why at the beginning of the video I said I would say why I wouldn't be doing it on XRP, and XRP technically falls underneath all of the Howie tests, apart from the fact that XRP did not have an initial coin offering. However, in my opinion, it's sufficiently centralized enough that Ripple Labs raising money for XRP would have basically ticked all of the boxes for the Howie test. Now, I want to wrap up this video with 1 or 2 finishing comments, and I want you to think, now we know the definition of ICOs, now we know the definition of what a security is, how many cryptocurrencies, coins, but more specifically tokens, in my opinion, about at least 95% of the tokens in the cryptocurrency ecosystem are securities. Now, let's say, for example, that I create a token on the Solana blockchain, and I call it Cowboy token. The Cowboy token has not been developed. I paid a very novice smart contract creator to write the information of the blockchain, write a quick light paper, and bada bing, bada boom, we have Cowboy token. Now, with this Cowboy token, what I do is, because I have a Discord community on my YouTube channel, what I can do is I can go over to my Discord and I can say, hey, everyone, I've got a new token called Cowboy token. Now, I don't have enough money to develop this into something at this moment in time. This is where you come in. Now, I want the Cowboy community to each send me $100, and with that $100, I will send you 100 Cowboy tokens, and you can stake it, you cannot stake it, etc, etc, etc. You have, number one, invested money in number two, my project. Number three, you are expecting a return after I use your money to develop the project. And number four, you're expecting return because I am using your money, I'm using all my hard work with your money to develop the project. So once again, number four comes in from the Howie Test, where the profits are being derived by the work of others. Once again, it's very, very black and white what a security is. I hope a lot of you have a better understanding of what ICOs are, what securities are, and all of that good stuff. Now, not all securities are bad. Securities are actually legal. You just need to register them with the SEC. A lot of people kind of put a negative connotation on the word security. Security is not a bad thing. An unregistered security, unregistered with the SEC, that is what the SEC doesn't like. So hope you found some value in this content, slightly different from my normal content, but yeah, I thought I'd just develop the educational playlist a bit. If you are looking for more educational content, I do have an educational playlist where I do a bunch of videos like this, mainly focused around technical analysis. So that's all I've got for you today. Hope you found some value in this video. As always, Cowboy out. Peace.